Me when I silently break wind at work and my colleagues are shocked by the stench.
Someone is responsible for what happened, and I can't say who that is, but I know it's not me.
Me when my boss told me he decided I wasn't eligible for a promotion this year.
Okay.
And this is me when my friend tells me what I did in the pub last night after 12 pints.
Oh God.
Hello everyone. Well, you wanted it. Well, I hope you did. We're back with part 2 of the top 10, what are they called? Iconic fragrances of all time. Before we do that, don't forget that if you want fragrance samples, you need to go to myfragrancesamples.com. That's the best place to get your fragrance samples in the USA and Canada. Link in the description. Amazing range of designer and niche fragrances. Also, big thing going on at the moment, Chypre Fulminare. You can buy that now in the USA, Canada and the UK. Our new release. Amazing reviews on this stunning, strident, vibrant and bold, dynamic Chypre fragrance. There is just a couple of days left as I shoot this and upload this, and we're ending this on this coming Sunday. That's Sunday the something of 15th of January 2023. This coming Sunday, the special offer to get that fragrance and Gravitas Pour Homme for a price of just $150 or £120 in the UK to get both shipped to your door. That is the last day Sunday. Do not miss out, and we are actually almost sold out of stock in the USA. So there's going to be a gap before we can get more out there. Don't miss it, guys. Okay, let's talk iconic fragrances. So I did a well-received video about the top 10 iconic fragrances for men of all time. And of course, you know, you can't do that without leaving out some great fragrances, because there are more than 10 amazing iconic fragrances. So let's carry on with the list. No particular order, not from saying one's the best, and not chronological. So we'll end up with a top 20. Okay, first of all, some of these will be on the screen because I don't own all of these. I've got to be completely frank. I do think, yes, and some people said this in the comment. Let me know in the comments which ones you think are right in this video and which ones are wrong. Bleu de Chanel, yes, Bleu de Chanel 2010 release, it's got to be in there. In some ways, Dior Sauvage, which I included in the previous list, did take some cues from that lot, not least in the colour of the bottle, and this is a classic citrus, woody type fresh fragrance. It has a beautiful crisp opening with bergamot and grapefruit. Lovely smooth jasmine in the mid. There's a few different versions. Eau de parfum, blah, blah, blah. Eau de toilette will do you fine. It has a fresh shower gel, modern, very easy to like kind of smell. It doesn't have the complexity and majesty of some earlier Chanel releases that I really like and prefer. But it is iconic because everybody recognizes that bottle. So many people have got it, and it does, you know, it's been a huge seller, composed, of course, I think one of the last few things composed by Jacques Polge, for the last big releases from Jacques Polge. Polge as the perfumer at Chanel. I've got to give it the credit. Okay, moving on. Next one then, that a lot of people, well, at least maybe one person mentioned this. Azaro Pour Homme, 1978. What a huge seller. Hello to the person in Brazil who said this is still huge in Brazil. Aromatic Fougere, 1978. Again, opening obviously with citrus and bergamot. In the middle of this one, you've got lavender and this little twist of anise. And in the base, you have oak moss and you have sandalwood. It is very, very rich and kind of a barbershop scent on steroids, and it really has that kind of hairy chest, rugged, old school vibe. I've got a vintage bottle here. Yes, this is one of the classic quintessential aromatic fougères of the late 70s, which of course therefore was selling hugely throughout the 80s. It does smell dated nowadays for many noses, but it is an all-time classic, and again an icon in terms of the sales, and at least used to be in terms of the recognizability of the bottle. Maybe not so much. And you know, I'm leaving out Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, therefore there's going to be people not happy about everything in this list. Okay, now another modern one. I wanted to put. I've got to be completely frank. You know, when you think of an icon, sometimes that is a religious icon tends to be an actual, maybe a statue or image of the religious figure. So hence the bottle design being recognizable has something going for it, and therefore I don't really like this scent that much. Invictus, normal Invictus, Paco Rabanne Invictus 2013, very bright, fresh, kind of sea notes, aquatic accords in this one, and this kind of sweetness in there as well. So sort of sweet bubblegum with aquatic sea freshness and sharp citrusy things as well. Smells quite synthetic, hugely popular though, a huge seller, as was 1 Million from the same brand, and I think I also got quite a lot of ambroxan in there. So I don't care for it, but I think it kind of is iconic, one of the iconic releases of the 2010s, and good to have something a bit more recent in the list. What do you think about it? I'm not a huge fan at all, but the bottle, tacky. But yeah, I'm afraid it's probably worthy of inclusion here. Let's move on to something completely different. Brut from Fabergé. My little thing, I actually put my little thing there, the label's on my cap. Don't worry about that. Don't ask me why. This was a 1965 release. This is an amazing aromatic fougere fragrance. One of the quintessential releases really in that genre. Now, of course, you can buy it really, really, really cheaply as an aftershave, like £5 in your supermarket. This is the special reserve. It's a little bit richer and better. You can get that online with the old iconic bottle design with the medallion man thing there that's fallen off mine. Really, really nice. Okay, so again, you got the usual kind of suspects of the citrus. I think there is a twist of that licorice-esque anise in here as well. I'm not sure. But I pick up on that kind of smell. Loads of kind of herbal aromatics in there. Tonka bean, oak moss, and of course some lavender. Just classic kind of dad smell stuff. Reassuringly manly. I like it. Green, soapy, classic. And the bottle design, bottle design, brewed by Fabergé originally. Other people manufacture it now, but whatever. It is iconic, I've got to be honest. Okay, another one that definitely qualifies. Amen, 1996. So there was Mugler Angel. Am I getting this? Alien Angel? Angel from earlier on. And then they made the first, what is really regarded as the first gourmand fragrance for men in the designer realm. And this one has a fantastic combination of kind of leathery, tarry notes, almost a leather, a tarmac kind of, it's something that reminds people of burnt rubber or tarmac, weird, I don't know, and kind of hints of cacao or chocolate and vanilla and tons of patchouli. Very rich, kind of sweet, and yet with this tarry, leathery, patchouli undertone, it stays kind of masculine with sweetness. Really, really interesting. Again, not really my cup of tea. Maybe that's why I didn't include it in the... But yeah, it did. And of course, loads of flankers like Pure Havana and Pure Malt and Crypto Mint have been very popular too. This is the original, and it is an icon of masculine perfumery. Okie dokie. Now, again, this was a glaring omission from the last list. Got to include Draconoir, 1982, a flanker actually to the very obscure, hard to find now, discontinued Dracar. Draconoir, again, a totally textbook aromatic fougere. Fresh citrus, green accords, herbal aromatics, lavender. If you want a definition of what is an aromatic fougere, and it's still great in its modern formula, by the way. I think all of these are still available, yeah. This is really, really just a great place to understand what is a fougere. Buy one cheaply online, get the 30ml or the 50ml, and you can see if this style is for you. It's classic, it's soapy, it's a little bit, it's very comparable to Brut, but it's got its own, a little bit sharper and greener to me than Brut, and less sort of powdery. Brut has a certain powdery aura. This one's sharper and greener and fresher, maybe overall. I really, really like it. It has a kind of talcum powder, fresh talcum powder vibes, actually. So maybe it's therefore a bit powdery. I don't know. I like Draconoir. It's a good fragrance. Okay, next up then. Now, great call by somebody who put this in my my comments section. Pinard Clubman, not a designer fragrance, but a very cheap aftershave. So well known in the States, where it's often literally used in barbershops after you have a shave and a haircut. And it is a classic. So Pinard Clubman aftershave lotion, been going since, I think, the early 20th century. Again, similar things to describe it as with Brut, but it has its own thing. It has a certain floral accord in there as well. Soapy citrusness, lavender, just fresh, powdery, spick and span, talcum powder on the back of your neck kind of vibes, and then this kind of barbershop. Literally smells a bit like hair lacquer or the barber shop. It's really pleasant, okay? Check it out if you like this kind of thing. Last two, then, I don't know. I have to include Cool Water. Davidoff's Cool Water was such a big seller, and it was one of the first to really have this very, very strong, noticeable dihydromercenol accord. It was composed by perfumer Pierre Bourdon, who a couple of years earlier had done Green Irish Tweed for the House of Creed, which just doesn't quite make my list. A bit more, because it's niche, it was less well known, less iconic maybe for the man in the street. And they have a similar kind of, there's some similarities, but let's not dwell on that. I prefer Green Irish Tweed, but Cool Water has this sort of aquatic, it's a cologne, C-A-L-O-N-E accord, along with dihydromercenol. Very fresh, very recognisable. Loads of people, things came in its wake and took up this kind of theme and developed it maybe in the 90s. Great classic and a huge seller. Women do really like Cool Water. It's a bit too well known for some of us now. Okay, last but not least, I've got to put it in actually. Dupe. or Dupe, however you say it, by Wolfgang Dupe. 1988, I think, was the release. I think it was Michel Almerac who composed this one. And this has this very, it's kind of a little bit fruity. It has this slightly tacky-looking pink bottle. Fruity, sweet vanilla, and I think it's ethyl mitol, or what's the word? That kind of candy floss, toffee apple, that kind of sweet, what's it, kind of caramel accord that's in a lot of things. You know, it's kind of fruity, sweet, a little bit icky and sticky, and not my kind of thing. Unctuous, so huge though, so popular throughout the 1990s and even into the 2000s.
Why did you buy this thing? Why? You know what, man? Why did you buy this sort of garbage?
Such a recognizable smell. I don't actually care for it at all. But again, the bottle design with that pink bottle, and it sort of introduces a more metrosexual theme that men's fragrances don't have to be strident and masculine in their aura. They can sort of be fun and saucy, I suppose. I don't like it, but it's iconic. What do you think about that? If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button. I'll be bringing you some more, discontinued rare vintage gems and the kind of thing the stuff I really like in future videos. But we've had fun lately with the 1 million Elixir review and this top 10 iconic. Let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out that offer then for Sheep Fulminare and Gravitas, which comes to an end on the Sunday after I release this. And remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And even though life may stink, at least we can always smell good. See you in the next video. Bye bye.